Hello, everyone. This is Rose. Today's topic from the Book of Life is accountability is a great start to healing. When the actions of a person separate them from their family, total healing comes when that person takes accountability for their actions rather than say, as a form of justification for their thoughts and actions, I forgive my family, but can never forget how I perceive them treating another family member better than me. Let's take a look at this short story from the Book of Life. Bobby has always been an unsettled kid growing up. At a young age, he was abandoned by his birth mother because she allowed her demons to take precedence over her being a parent. Her actions caused her to be absent from her son's life, especially in his formative years when a child needs their birth mother the most. Prior to being joined with blood relatives, Bobby had experienced the abuse of being in the home of strangers who only sees him as a paycheck. They physically abused him, spent no money on him, and allowed him to go hungry as a form of punishment. By the time Bobby's relative was legally able to rescue him from the home of his abuser, he was broken and did not trust anyone. Bobby's relative having a son the same age as him made it difficult for him to adjust. This is because Bobby believed his relative will always treat her birth son better than him. It was a challenging time for Bobby's relative to take in a child who was emotionally and psychologically troubled due to his experience. However, his relative vowed before God to love Bobby in the same manner as her birth child. His relative vowed to raise him with the same godly principles and to discipline with love. Bobby's relative knew it was important to not glorify his abuse by allowing him to think rules does not apply to him. His relative had to show him the same fundamental core values as was shown to her son. She had to make sure Bobby had a normal childhood life. She didn't want him to always feel that he had to be privileged or not disciplined because of being in the hands of abusers. She wanted him to know and understand there are rules and regulations in life, and it's okay to discipline, but discipline with love. Bobby's relative believed in communication. His relative would often express to him why she did or did not do something his way. For example, at the start of school, Christmas and Easter, both boys would get new clothes at the same time. Both were able to pick out their outfits and receive equal in pieces as well as new shoes. However, Bobby was harder on shoes than his brother, his relative's son. Therefore, Bobby would get a new pair of shoes more often or sooner than his brother. Bobby would feel special because he was the only one receiving new shoes and felt it was because he had favorite over his brother. Bobby's relative would express to him the reason he received new shoes is because he needs them. On the other hand, if Bobby's brother need new shoes. Bobby would become angry if he did not get a new pair at the same time. Bobby felt his brother was being shown favoritism because he was the birth child. Bobby did not care if his relative explained to him that the budget do not allow for all kids to receive new shoes when only one person is in need of shoes. Bobby's relative stuck to her parenting principles. She refused to allow the kids to dictate or set the ground rules for how she parented them. She refused to allow Bobby to guilt her into parenting him the way he felt he should have been parented. Bobby's relative would allow the boys to pick out personal snacks as well as ice cream to last them a week until their next shopping day. Bobby's relative used this as a form in teaching the boys how to budget their supplies. Bobby would sneak and eat all his snacks in 2 to 3 days. Then he would become angry if his relative did not buy him additional snacks to last him for the remaining days in the week. Once again, he felt his brother was being shown favoritism. One day, Bobby's relative could hear the boys having a discussion on love and favoritism when the boys came running to her, running to their mom, asking her, who do she love the most among them two? Without hesitation, Bobby's relative, his mom, because she sees herself as his mom, immediately says, I love you both equal. Bobby asks, how can you love us both the same? His mom, relative, replied, because love is unmeasurable. God loves all his children the same. He might not measure, but he might not bless us all at the same time or in the same way. However, he loves us all the same, and he gave his only begotten Son for remission of sin to all of us who believe. Bobby has always been a troubled child throughout elementary school. His mom, his relative, was constantly summoned to his school to handle one outburst or one problem after another. Nevertheless, his relative was not giving up on him. She put him in sports, purchased him pet animals of his choice, like a guinea pig that she ends up taking care of because Bobby did not hold up to his end of the bargain when he promised to always care for this guinea pig and keep his cage clean. But nonetheless, she did what she had to do as a mother. She took care of that guinea pig. As God, she refused to not give up on Bobby. She refused to get frustrated at him always pointing out a difference in his young mind. He always wanted to show how her birth son had favor over him. But he perceived all of this in his mind based off his pain and based off his experience. And she knew that it was not true. And she was not going to allow Bobby to guilt her into both seeing it his way and believing what he was seeing was factual and true, because it wasn't. She refused to give up on Bobby, even though this was what she had to put up with. God did not give up on her, and she refused to give up on Bobby. As Bobby grew into his teen years, he began to gravitate to the street life by hanging out with boys in the neighborhood that was known for breaking into people's houses. The security in their housing community caught him with the same boys that broke into people's houses, that was known for breaking into people's houses, caught Bobby with this boy, and in Bobby's hand, he was the one carrying cutters that the fire department used to break through chain gates and locks. Now, Bobby was the one that they can really pinpoint or say that he was the ringleader, because he was the one caught carrying this huge cutter. But they didn't do that. Because security knew Bobby's relative, his mom, and knew that she was a peaceful tenant, they decided to take him home to his mother rather than hand him over with the other boys to the police. But they informed Bobby's mother/relative, you will only receive this one pass. Because we know the type of person you are, we're giving you this pass. But this will be your only pass, because we are here to patrol this community and keep it safe. And we cannot give you any passes, and your son is being a threat to the other tenants in this community. The mother understood it. She was happy for the one pass. They informed her if they caught Bobby being a threat to the community again, they would be asked to move by management in the same way that the other boys' parents were asked to move. She got it. Bobby was making things very difficult for his mother, and she had to make a decision. Bobby was becoming more than his relative could handle as a single parent. She sent him to live with the strongest woman she knew, her mother. Her mother raised 10 kids, and 6 of them was boys, and trust and believe they all respect her and did not raise their hand against her. She was a strong powerhouse within her household. So she thought sending Bobby to live with her mother would give him a different form of discipline. Bobby lived with his grandmother for only a few months until he was accepted into job court. He had to go to job court because he went over there and did not want to go to school, or would go to school and want to goof off in school or hang out with the boys in the neighborhood. So his mother/relative got him into job court. After completing 2 years in job court, Bobby went to live with other family members. He was 18. He was too much for his single mother to raise an 18-year-old by herself, who felt that he should be able to do what he wanted to do at the age of 18 and shouldn't have no curfew, shouldn't have no rules because he was grown. He felt that she was supposed to take care of him without any rules because he was 18. His way of thinking about life was so not what he was taught by her. Because of the environment that with the other relatives that he went to live with, because of the environment, he joined with the wrong crowd, and started using drugs. For years, Bobby would deny he was on drugs. He thought that if he denied it, no one could figure it out by looking at him. So he would always say he was not high when he was. He would come to his mother's house high on drugs. Because she felt uncomfortable with his behavior when he was high, she would occasionally get him a motel room when other relatives would put him out for being high and irate. She would buy him food but did not feel comfortable with giving him money. Bobby had a problem with this. He felt that if he wanted something, she should provide it. He couldn't differentiate the difference between her helping him when he was not high versus her not helping him when he was high. When Bobby was in need of dental care, his mother came out the pocket and got him dental care, even though he was 18 or 19 years old. When he needed clothes to go on a job interview, she took him shopping for clothes, even though he was 19 years old. But when he needed money to get high with, because he was high, she would not give it to him. She would give him food. He didn't like this. He didn't understand that. He thought she was not being a supported mother. Bobby was in and out of jail, in and out of halfway houses, as well as in and out of different drug rehab centers. After years of getting high, Bobby fought the good fight of faith. He did it through prayers from his mother and through him fighting. She gives God the glory, and she also gives Bobby recognition for the good fight of faith that he put forth into getting himself off of drugs, because he was on drugs for a long time, and she knew that it had to be a shift in his spirit, a determination that he stuck by, and she knew it couldn't have been easy for the number of years that he was using drugs for him to now become clean. And she wanted him to know how proud she was of him, that she made good on a promise that she gave to him when he was on drugs. She made good on that promise. She gave him a lump sum of money and let him know that you're getting this because I believe in you, and I know you're clean, and I know you're not going to use this money for drugs. She was so proud of Bobby. He was now clean off of drugs. In his soberness, he got a job, an apartment of his own, a new car, a bank account, okay? And a new outlook on life. He was doing good, looking good, sounding good. He is now becoming a person that she wanted to talk to be around. His spirit was full of joy, and she could hear it in his voice. She can hear the difference. She knew that he was on this road to recovery for life. She felt it in her spirit that he was stronger. His mother understands he is a product of his pain. She knows that even though he is clean from drugs, he is still a product of his pain. She knows this was his reason for self-medicating with drugs. Now that he is sober, he is battling with playing the blame game. And she understands being clean off of drugs does not totally heal his way of thinking, because the memory of the pain that he went through as a child, he's still battling with that. But now he's just stronger to not self-medicate with drugs. Bobby refused to take accountability for his actions while on drugs. He refused to understand why his family had to distance themselves while he was on drugs. Also, he insists on believing his mother gave favor to her birth son over him, although he believes she loves him. When asked why does he believes she favored her birth son over him, Bobby's reply is because when her birth son went to jail at the age of 19, she bailed him out but did not bail him out, which is totally not true. Bobby's brother was living with his father when he went to jail for 3 months. The ex-husband and the son hid it from the mother while the brother was in jail. She had no knowledge. She was thinking that the son was living with the father and still working. The reason why she found out, they did not tell her until the son was offered an early release from jail. It was his first offense. He had never been in jail before, and so they offered him an early release from jail. And it was only on if he can afford to pay a small monthly fee to be monitored by wearing an ankle monitor. He had to have one of those ankle bracelets, monitors put on his ankle. And if he was able to, or a family member was able to pay the monthly fee, then he would have an early release from jail. So therefore, the father had to come to the mother and let her know, because the mother was the one working, not the father at the time. So this option, the mother did it. She paid for 6 months for her son to be monitored with an ankle bracelet. And this option was not offered to Bobby as far as the mother knew. The mother knew Bobby was in and out of jail. He didn't spend long time in jail. He was never in there for more than a few months. And it was all because of drug related. They would catch him stealing, do the drug related, throw him in and let him out. So it was minor offense, but she never knew that this offer was offered to him. Also, Bobby is holding on to the fact that his brother was allowed to live with their mother for about 3 months after losing his job prior to moving in with his father. Mama sent her grown son, who was 19 after he lost his job, to go live with his father. She allowed him to come into the home for 3 months, but she knew he needed a male figure. And Bobby saw this as him having favoritism. Bobby is also holding on to the fact that the brother lived with the mother for approximately 5 months after breaking up with his girlfriend. His girlfriend put him out. Mama Bear took him in, but she also was in the process of getting ready to move herself. And she told him, you have until I move in order to find you somewhere else to go. So Bobby's brother ended up going to live with other relatives. And Bobby saw this as the brother having favoritism. Not one time was Bobby's brother on drugs while living with their mother. She allowed him to come temporarily because he was not on drugs. But she made sure that he had to be responsible and accountable for himself as a man, and that he was not going to lay up in her house as a grown man living off of her while she get up each and every day and go to work. So it was always short term. Bobby did not mention when his brother was homeless and sleeping in his car, because he didn't see this as favoritism. He only mentioned the 2 short times the mother allowed his brother to live with her. However, the statements he did mention shows his mother he may be delivered from drugs, but not from blaming the one person who rescued him from the hands of his abuser and loved him like he was her birth child, as well as reuniting him back to his relatives. She understands that she is being used as the scapegoat in place of Bobby's birth mother, whom he expressed no blame to, and she's happy that he did not. She was willing to be that scapegoat. Nevertheless, regardless of what Bobby think or say, she will continue to love him and pray for him. He will forever be her son. It doesn't matter if she did not give birth to him. He is still her son, and that's how she see it. She understands that it's going to take time for Bobby to heal totally. If you all have a Bobby in your life, be patient with him. I know it can be difficult having someone who perceives everything through their pain, and they accuse the ones who've been there for them as not being fair to them. It could be difficult to continue to help someone who make you the blame for them not having what they perceive as a good life or having favor or whatever the case may be. Bobby's mother or relative in this story understands that Bobby is still seeing life through the pain of his experience. And that's where his perception comes from. In order for her to understand what he was going through, she had to picture herself when she have a bad morning getting up going to work and her alarm did not go off. Therefore, she's running late. And when she gets up, it seems like it's a domino effect. One bad thing after the other. The water is taking too long to turn hot. So therefore, she's forced to take a semi-cold shower, or her heel of her shoe break, or she got to throw on something that she don't feel comfortable with wearing because she's running late. And when she gets to her job, she goes into the lunchroom to take her lunch that she had put together because she was in a rush and it's not really what she wants to eat. But nonetheless, she's out the house and she gets to her job. She goes in the lunchroom, and 2 ladies that are known for gossiping, being the gossiper of the company, are in there talking and kikiing and laughing, and they turn around and look at her, and the first thing she say, "What are these bees laughing at? What are they saying about me?" She think the worst because of her day, because of what she went through getting there. She's assuming and perceiving the worst. They talking about me. What are they saying about me? They stared right at me while they was laughing, while they kikiing and talking. So what are they saying about me? But then the next morning she gets up and everything goes well. The alarm clock goes off when it's supposed to. The water doesn't take long to get hot. She was able to pick out an outfit that she feel comfortable with. She was able to properly make her a lunch that is pleasing to her and even take a little snack for breakfast. And she's feeling good. She goes into the lunchroom, the same two ladies is there kikiing, laughing, and they turn and look at her when she walk in the door, and she say to them, "Good morning, ladies. How are you doing today?" Totally different perception, because now she perceiving them in the eyes of how her day started. Bobby is always living in the first scenario. The Bobby, he see everything through the pain of his beginning years as a child. So therefore his perception is always going to be in the favor of someone else. You treating me different. You treating me bad. You don't love me. You don't love me the same. You're not giving me everything I asked for. So that means you don't love me. His perception is always going to be through the lens of his pain. And that's why if you have a Bobby in your life, be patient with him and understand. As long as he is not hurting you, not stealing from you, not on drugs around you, and he's just perceiving things off, be patient with him and continue to pray for him. Things will get better through prayer. All things are possible through prayer. And this Bobby in this story is an evidence of prayer working, because he overcame drugs after years of being on it. Now he just got to get through seeing and perceiving everything through the eyes of pain. Be blessed, people. Be safe. Click the thumbs up button. Peace.